Let us move on to our next question. The present value annuities. Remember, when you calculate the present value, you are going back in time. Remember, we have calculated the present value using the compound interest compound formula. That is where you are given the value of A and you are required to find the value of P. And remember, when you are given the value of A and required to calculate the value of P, you are going back in time. So you are going to have a negative sign there on a period. So let us look at our question. Abraham buys a car for 163,500. He pays a 10% deposit and settles the rest of his debt with a quarterly payment every 3 months. In other words, over 5 years, starting in 3 months time. Calculate the value of his quarterly payment if interest on the loan is charged at 13% per annum compounded quarterly. So in this case, we are looking for the value of X. We want to know every 3 months how much is Abraham paying. We are given what? We are given the value of F, which is 163,500. We are given the interest rate also, as well as the period, which is 5 years. So let us look at our data. What do we have? We have N, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 5 years, but Abraham is paying every 3 months. So every 3 months means quarterly, and remember, quarterly you multiply by 4, which will give us 20 quarters. So we have the interest rate, which is equals to 13%, but you divide that by 100, remember, so it's going to be 0.3. The value of X, which is the quarterly payment, is unknown. The value of F, which is equals to 163,500, but from that 163, Abraham pays the deposit of that. So we are going to have minus what now? Minus, we want to know the 10% of this. 10% of this is going to be 163,500 multiplied by 0.1, which is the 10% of it. So we're going to have, let us check, 163,500 multiplied by 0.1, which leaves us this 163,500 minus 16,350, which will be 147,150. So after paying 10% deposit, our value of F is equals to 147,150. So we're going to substitute in our formula now. We have 147,150 is equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus 0.13 compounded quarterly. You divide this by 4 raised to an exponent of minus 20, because we are going back in time, therefore it will be negative, that one. So we have 0.13 all over 4. So since we are calculating the value of X, we are going to cross multiply. This is over 1, you cross multiply the 2. So you are going to have X into 1 minus 1 plus 0.13 over 4 to minus 20. You multiply this one and that one. Let us check how much do we have now. 147,150 multiplied by 0.13 divided by 4. It gives us 4,782,375, and then we are going to divide again, because we want the value of X. 1 plus 0.13 all over 4 to minus 20. You divide this again, 1 minus 1 plus 0.13 over 4 to minus 20. So this will cancel that. You are left with X, which is your quarterly payment. Let us check how much do we have. I'm going to have 1 minus into 1 plus 0.13 all over 4 raised to minus 20. So we have 10,120,81. So in other words, this is the amount that Abraham is paying every 3 months. Every 3 months, Abraham is paying this amount for how many months? For 20 quarterly months. For 20 quarterly months. So he's going to make 20 payments of how much? Of 10,120,81. And then let us look at our second question. It says calculate how much interest Abraham pays on his loan. How much interest Abraham pays on his loan. Let us check the total amount of his quarterly payments after 20 payments. The total amount is going to be interest is equals to 10,120,81 multiplied by 20, because he's going to pay this amount for 20 months. So multiply this by 20 is how much now? It is 202,416,25. And this amount we are going to minus what? We are going to minus the amount that was left after minusing 10%, which is 147,150. So the interest will be the interest is 55,266,25. This is the interest Abraham is paying on his